had lost someone who had worked with us in the very beginning, which was obviously a really tough week for a lot of people. But it's just a sad reality of, what we do matters, and what we do can save lives potentially.
It doesn't feel like you're in recovery. It doesn't feel like you're in a treatment center. It feels like you're in a safe spot. You're at home. I mean, I see with our offices being here at the outpatient, I see clients day in and day out just super comfortable. And I think that is like a key factor.
Welcome back to the Plugged In Recovery Podcast. I'm your host, Wade Mulhauser. Special episode today is something a little bit different. I wanted to bring who you've seen before, co-owner of the company and my partner and friend, Scott, onto the podcast. We just wanted to talk about the amazing year that we had last year, kind of what might be on the horizon, celebrate some wins, maybe go over a couple of losses. Scott getting into the space from, kind of all of his previous roles, and we can talk about that a little bit. But it should be a really good episode. So without further ado, how's it going today, Scott?
Good.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Pumped to have you in here. No, man, I guess just to get started, I don't know, previously having you kind of ran the podcast with Bravo and we watched that. That was great. But just a little bit about yourself and just your transition into Plugged In Recovery, because I'm sure you guys didn't really get into that.
No.
So maybe just a little bit of that backstory, and then we can kind of talk about the year we had last year.
Yeah. It's been, about 9 months or so since I joined Plugged In. It's been one heck of a journey. My background is not from recovery, as you know. I come from the tech world, right? I was in internet tech, specifically software as a service for the last 20 some years. Started that company in Colorado. Cliche story, $5,000 spare bedroom of the house. Grew it to, pretty significant size. 55, 60 employees. Sold it to private equity. Spent the next 4 or 5 years in doing various things in real estate, right? Investing, development, built some houses, flipped some houses, bought some apartment complexes. And you and I have been, we've been friends for a long time. And I've got to see your journey ever since the very first Sober Living. I remember going to dinner and it was like, I've got 1, I've got 3, now I've got 5, now I've got 7, now I'm going to open a treatment center. And it was really cool to see that. And it was something that I always wondered if there's an opportunity for me to be part of that, right? Because I'm a grower. I like to be part of that initial vision and that growth factor. So seeing you do it gave me a sense of FOMO, right? And so when the opportunity arose, I was excited, right? And here we are 9 months later, and really kicking ass and taking names, I think.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I think that one of the things that gets overlooked in our space quite a bit is people joke about it, but what does it take to open up a treatment center? And it's like prison time, a couple felonies, ruining your life, etc. You don't need any degrees or anything like that. But the little bit of reality to that is a lot of treatment centers, because I believe they are best ran by people who have had that experience. But unfortunately for that is they don't get a lot of the business savvy and sense involved and intertwined in that. So when I really saw the opportunity to have someone with your business acumen, your success that you've built and sold companies before, all the little pieces that it takes to really run a business. I'll never forget going into your house. We initially kind of talked about it probably 6 months or a year prior to when you came on board, and just timing everything like that. But coming over to your house and just being like, dude, I'm having this problem and I'm having this problem. And I can't get this guy to do this. And I don't know what this Excel spreadsheet is, just getting all messy. I'm really good at this piece of it. And being able to have you jump on and really help dial in a lot of the systems and the processes and a little bit of that outside viewpoint on how the business and organization should run has made us, I think, that much more deadly as a company as we move forward.
Well, I think that's exactly how I look at it, right? I didn't come from the recovery world in any form, right? And you didn't really come from the business side, right? So I think that marriage has been working out, amazingly. You've been able to introduce me into so many different things that I've had to learn, and it's been quite the journey, right? Almost intimidating in the beginning, right? I for sure, when I'm driving home the first couple of weeks, I'm like, man, what am I doing? I don't know anything about this, right? But to your point, it's operations is operations. Processes are processes, whether it's in the recovery space, whether it's in tech, real estate, they all kind of follow that core foundation. And so once I kind of got out of my head on that, and okay, it's go time. Like now things started clicking, and it's been great.
What was the hardest part of that transition for anybody who's on the outside of this?
It was it was a lot of acronyms that I had to learn. It was almost like everyone is speaking in a different language. It was like, BHRF, RTC, IOP, PHP, and then there's numbers sometimes at the end of these. And I'm just sitting there writing them down. And I would ask you, like, at the end of our day, like, okay, what are these? And what are these? And I remember we were sitting at my house one time, and I think we were looking at the billing or something, and you're talking about CPT codes, and I'm just like, I'm giving you the nod, like I'm absorbing it, but it was just bouncing straight off me, right? And you're like, don't worry, you're gonna get it. It'll click. And I'm like, okay. And so I remember when I got in this business, I was like, I just gotta have faith and wait. Like he said, it's gonna click, and it did, right? It took me a little bit of time, but yeah, the most intimidating was just having to learn, like, and maybe it's not even necessarily the recovery acronyms, but just in medical, right?
Yeah.
Or the clinical side of things, and kind of like how things connect to each other and the different positions, and how the clients get their treatment, and everything from there to the billing it was just a whole new world to learn. And I think that was actually kind of fun. For the first time in many years, I was like excited to go to work, right? In fact, my wife would be like, hey, you're working a lot. And I'm like, well, I love it here. What, right? Because one, it's a new journey, it's a new adventure, but it ended up becoming a vibe, right? With the staff that we have here, and the culture that we've created, and just the direction and growth that we've had. It's like, it's exciting. You want more and more of it.
It really is a drug in itself. And especially when you get to see the daily miracles of light bulbs click on, and the people that we help, and, sometimes coming over the tragedies that we see. We had lost someone who had worked with us in the very beginning, which was obviously a really tough week for a lot of people 2 weeks ago to go through. But it's just a sad reality of, what we do matters, and what we do can save lives potentially. Now, we don't have that power, but those processes. And I think what's been so important just in our business relationship is, I think, the trust that's been built, right? If you tell me there's something operationally that needs to happen, or for the most part, even financially, because I just know my oversight on all that stuff is I don't look at it. I just trust it. And also, I think on the flip side, when it comes to the recovery or the growth or that piece of it, it's like that other trust of I just keep doing what you're doing, keep in your lane, and we kind of really mesh well. So I agree. It's been kind of a perfect relationship in respect to that. The other beautiful thing I think that's come of this is we've added probably one of the best additions, I would say, to our team through you with your wife, Brittany.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute rock star biller. And it's just cool how all this is, the synchronicity of it all.
Right.
I'll say. As far as we've done a lot of conferences, so kind of going through in a wrap up of the conferences that we've attended last year. Do you want to name some of them off?
Yeah. In the last 12 months, TCIV West twice.
Yep. And East.
Yeah. And East, Cape Cod Symposium, the recovery.com Marketing Summit. Am I missing any? I think that might be. I know we have some coming up.
We have some coming up. Base last year.
Yeah, I didn't make it to that one.
We went to, as a group, West Palm or Palm Beach.
Palm Springs.
Palm
too.
Springs and Palm Springs. So it's been a crazy year of a lot of conferences, a lot of learning, a lot of networking and meeting people. Yeah. And we say it all the time. You would think when we go to a lot of these places that we have 25 treatment centers.
Yeah. I don't know how, every conference I say it to you every single time I walk out of there, and I'm like, it's mind blowing how the treatment, the credibility that we get in reality of things, of how small we are in comparison to some of these other big shops. I sit there and I watch, right? And I see these businesses that have centers in 10 different cities all over the nation, and like no one's talking to them. And here's Wade and Scott walking down, we've got an outpatient and an inpatient and some sober livings in Phoenix. And it's like, everyone's like, hey, and I think it really is a testament to the culture, the branding, And just, I think who we are as a company, like we wear our heart on our sleeves, right? And so it's amazing to see for sure.
It's a lot of fun. And I think it, like you said, it's a testament to not only the culture, the connections, it's a testament to the recovery community at how tight knit of a space it is. I believe, just even our employees and our roots from where we've kind of formed out of a previous program that used to exist and isn't around so much anymore. But I think did a lot of good work in this field. And people know that we run a lot of those same systems and programming wise. So they trust us with their people. And that to me is the number one thing when I look at another treatment center, when they say, hey, I would send you an employee of ours that screwed up, that is the ultimate testament of like, I trust your programming. I know that you are going to help people get sober.
100%. And I think what I really like about what you've created here, Wade, is like, you've been through the systems, you understand both sides of the coin. And I think that you've done a really good job at making this a little bit different than the other facilities out there. It's not so institutionalized. It doesn't feel like you're in recovery. It doesn't feel like you're in a treatment center. It feels like you're in a safe spot. You're at home, right? And I think, I see with our offices being here at the outpatient, I see clients day in and day out just super comfortable. And I think that is like a key factor, right, into the success.
100%. And it's the little things. It's the little, which I don't ever want us to lose sight on, is it's the little tidbits that happen throughout the day, no different than today. It's you gain that spiritual consent with people when you see them each day, and you create a culture of this, of calling people out, and they know you're coming at them with truth and you're coming at them with love. And that doesn't necessarily mean enablement, but it means that you're going to call out their weak spots so they can get better.
Well, I think that's, part of the uniqueness too, is it's like, there's not necessarily like a black and white playbook that, okay, you're admitting and here's what you're going to boom, boom, boom. And then we're checking those off and then you're out the door, you're done. Right. We're taking that personal touch. We're driving people to the appointments. We're helping them find a job. We're doing whatever it takes to really not only help them in recovery, but just help them in life in general. Right. I think that's one of the big factors in success, is helping the client really believe and get in touch with that core, necessity to have that success.
I agree. And it's a testament, I would say, as well, to the amount of capacity and experience that we have with our staff. Because whether it's the 21-year-old that comes in the door that needs help getting a job and is in sober living and needs to figure out how to get their head out of there, where, or it's that person who's an executive at a high level that we can have business conversations with, but make it really logically make sense to them of why they're here and what they need to achieve in order to set themselves up outside of here. Right. There's really this huge plethora of people that we can help. Yeah. And I believe that with what we have coming up next, I think that we're going to be able to just touch that many more families, that many more people, hopefully get people when they're a little bit younger. And then we can generationally shape our community versus where we're just meeting them right now.
Right.
So with that, and a quick kind of tidbit on that.
We've got another treatment facility coming on board.
RTC number 2.
Super excited about that one. That one's a really cool space. I love private rooms, private bathrooms. I don't know. It's like just a really zen facility. I don't know if that's the best word, but so really excited about that one, for us to be able to expand on our level of care there. And then, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the pivot a little bit?
Yeah. So a little over a year ago, when we first opened our doors, there was a name in the community that I had known for a little bit of time, but had never, ever heard a bad thing about. And when you're in such a space that is tight-knit, that is recovery, someone's always got something to say about everyone, which can be good or bad, but usually there's always some bad in there. And there's one name that you never heard bad things about. And that was Lena. And when I had an opportunity, to have her come to our facility, it was always two-sided. It was like, hey, come check out this place. And then, oh, like, would you like to work with us? I would really like to have you on our team. Yeah. And the timing wasn't really right. But she had always told me what her dream was. Her dream was to open up an adolescent space and specifically to be really niched and specific in neurodivergent and autism care. Spectrum kids, the kids that nobody else wants. And when we had a recent talk with her earlier in the summer, the door kind of seemed open. And kind of our goal with her was, hey, you come bring your expansive knowledge, your contacts, all the people the great job that you do of helping people get into treatment and building admissions and business development teams, and we will get to work on getting you this space because we believe in your heart, we believe in your programming, we believe in everything that you want to build, and we would love to be behind that, to kind of stamp and approve that. And when she came on board as our chief growth officer. And I don't think you or I probably thought this was a end of 2025, maybe even 2026 thing.
I mean, we were on the same page in terms of growth, right? We knew we're growing like crazy. Let's put the gas pedal down even farther and hire a chief growth officer. But I don't think, the thought never crossed my mind that we'd be getting into, neurodivergent affirming type care. But I tell you what, I'm super excited about it.
I'm pumped about it.
Yeah.
And the thing I think that is different about us compared to a lot of other treatment centers that I've seen go after this same specific level of care is no different than how we operate Plugged In Recovery is we know who does what best. Yeah. We're not just another treatment center that's opening up another branch of Plugged In Recovery that is going to get into adolescents because we see an opportunity to either make money or make impact or whatever have you. But we see someone who can build something super special. We're giving them the keys to do it under a different brand, under a different company, and really allowing them the room to grow this organization in another direction for a space and breadth of people who really, really need the support. Yeah. I think since we've even mentioned this idea, how many people can you say have reached out to us and said, man, there's so many people who need it?
I think I would say 99.9% of the time when I tell someone about this new venture, the number one response is, wow, that's incredible. That is very much in need. There's such a gap for what we're trying to fill. So, really excited about that. So are we giving away the name yet, or is that going to be a secret?
We can give away the name.
All right. So it's Mosaic Minds is our new venture. We've signed the lease. We're in build out right now. We're thinking probably March timeframe. We'll be opening doors. So we'll be sharing a lot more of those details as time goes on. But yeah.
Great team already in place. Lena obviously heading that. She is going to run that pretty much without restriction from us.
If you want, you could dive in a little bit further. But I was telling you this morning when we were walking the property, we're building out an art studio in there. So arts and crafts and the whole shebang, right? It's going to be incredible. I just kind of start envisioning it in my mind with, the paints and the paper and just Hobby Lobby within our office, right? Yeah. Sensory rooms and, our group rooms and just the lounging space and I'm just picturing this as a space that not only is going to provide the care that's needed, but it's going to be a facility where people want to be at again, right? And that's what like I said, going back to earlier and it plugged in is people want to be here, right? And I think that's a key to success in any other operations.
I agree with you. And I think that not only will Lena hit that out of the park and just all the families that we're going to be able to help, but us as a brand having our touch on that, but how can we continue to help more of our community and really specialize? We know what our bread and butter is, but how do we get into now maybe the Medicaid space, and how do we get into, and in a different brand, right? So we can keep Plugged In the way that Plugged In is, but have a separate brand that gets into that. What does detox look like in the future? I just see that the next 12 months ahead, now that we have a lot of the systems and processes in place, are going to really let us unleash the way we want to unleash.
Yeah. building that foundation, we kind of, I mean, that was one of my big responsibilities when I came on board, was to kind of peel that onion back a little bit and see, what do we need for that strong foundation for us to, because you and I operate kind of the same way, like, gas all the way down, let it roll, right? Let's go. But in order to be really successful at that, you got to have the footprint, you got to have the foundation, and it just makes it a lot easier to expand. And so I can only imagine what our conversation is going to be like in a year from now when we're sitting in here, or maybe, a bigger, better, more badass podcast room. I don't know.
Yeah.
Really looking back and be like, wow, like, because if you think about it, since we opened the treatment center, it's only been 15, 16 months. We've accomplished, a lot. And when we tell people, when we go to different trade shows and symposiums, whatever, they're like, wait, what? You've done all this and how much? And like, yeah, and we're going to keep going, right? We're essentially doubling or more our business in the next 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And to what you're alluding to is like, we have so much more on our vision board that we want to not only accomplish, but we want to do it this year.
Yeah.
So big things ahead for us. Can't wait.
Big things ahead. I think a lot of the processes are in place. Shout out to all the connections that we made last year. We had a lot of triumphs, and it wasn't anything special that we did. We always give credit where credit's due. The Hopeaholics, Insight Media, our video producers, our marketing guys, Pitch Digital. I'll give away the farm of all of the people who have helped us, because they have been truly integral to our success as a company. Yeah. And the gas pedal is on for what we're about to do next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of it's like trade secret either. It's just, we could go off on tangents on this conversation, but, huge shout out to our team internally, and then our partners.
And that's one thing I hope we get to do more of this year, is more partner work. I think, the Hopeaholics, having them back out here, or us getting out there. Natalie and Chad are two, not only the best individuals, I think, in this space to work with, but the realist, and just super open arms. I think with what we might have in 2020, it would be 2027 there on the horizon as a project with them. We can get started on soon, which would be
some big events. Those are going to be top secret for right now.
Yeah.
But
I really am excited for what's to come.
Yeah. I think it's been an incredible journey in my 9 months. My 9 months feels like it's been 3 years.
Dog years in recovery.
Right.
It's dog years in recovery.
But yeah, it's exciting, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm really glad we got to sit down and kind of just let viewers and listeners know kind of like a little bit about, what we're doing, what we've got on the roadmap, and a little bit more about me. Because for the most part, I'm usually tucked away in an office and plugging away. So
you're going to be a little bit more on these this year. You're going to be leading podcasts. That's what.
This is my second one, and I remember my first one was pretty nerve-wracking. That's probably one of the first times I've ever been in front of a camera. But I am finding the more you do it, the more fluid it becomes. So I'm excited.
Well, I'm pumped for the year ahead. I want to thank everybody who has supported us along this journey. Most importantly, I want to really thank from the bottom of my heart any family, any person, any community member that has trusted Plugged In Recovery with yourself or your loved one. Thank you for choosing us. We know deep down inside that it is a choice to choose Plugged In Recovery, and we are so grateful for the opportunity to be a part of your recovery journey or your loved one's recovery journey. There's a huge recovery space out there, so if you don't choose us, I just hope you find that help somewhere, because you are loved and you're definitely important, and you deserve to have recovery and everything that is on the other side of mental health or addiction struggles. But if you have trusted Plugged In Recovery, thank you so much from the bottom of our heart, because we are nothing without you, and we know that each and every day. And our goal is always to serve you. So thank you for another amazing episode. We can't wait to see you next week.